Hello friends, in the present video, let us solve a problem based on the Westergaard's equation. First, understand the question. A concentrated load acting on the surface of a soil produces a stress of 19.1 kilopascal at a depth of 1 meter below of it. Using Westergaard's equation, the stress at 2 meter depth is. So what they are giving? So from the given question, it can be understood that stress is given directly at 1 meter below the loading. They are asking us to find what is the stress at 2 meter depth. That means let us consider ground surface. Let us assume that there is some concentrated force Q acting somewhere here. Because of that concentrated force, they are saying that the depth below 1 meter, let us say this point I am representing with sigma Z1, that means 1 meter below of it. Because of this load, at a 1 meter below of it, what is the stress acting on here? 19.1. Let me represent here. Stress at a depth 1 meter below the load. That will be equal to 19.1 kilopascal. What they are asking? They are asking us to find what is the stress at 2 meter below of it. That means from here to here, if it is 2 meter, what is the stress acting at that point? Let us say that is representing with sigma Z2 is equal to how much? So they are not given loading, isn't it? Q value is not mentioned, but what they are given? They are directly giving you the stress, and they are asking this to find the stress at another point directly below the loading. So by seeing this, say 1 meter below of it. So if you load or if you are finding a stress directly below the loading, what about the radius? The radius will be is equal to 0. So as they are asking us to find using Westergaard's equation. So first of all, write the Westergaard's equation. What is the Westergaard's equation? Sigma z, that will be equal to q divided by z square into 1 divided by pi into 1 divided by 1 plus 2 into r by z whole square whole to the power 3 by 2, isn't it? Now, in present data, either at point 1 or at point 2, what about the radius? Radius is equal to 0. If you keep radius is equal to 0, then what about this term? This term is equal to 1. So stress at any point, what can you say? That will be equal to q divided by z square into 1 divided by pi. So your q is constant, your load is not changing. 1 by pi is also a constant. So how your stress is varying? From this we can say your stress is varying is inversely proportional to the z square. Now we have to find out the stress at point 2. So that's why what I can write down here, that I can write down as sigma z2 divided by sigma z1, that will be equal to inversely proportional. So z1 divided by z2 whole square. So if I substitute the limits here, sigma z2, this is what we have to find out. What about the stress at 1? 19.1. What about the z1 value? 1. What about the z2 value? 2 whole square. So if you solve it, you will get it as sigma z2, that will be equal to 4.8 kilopascal around. Already in the Busikness theory, we have seen how to find the stress. There we have already seen how to find the radial distance. So from Westergaard's to the Busikness theory, the constant term is different. That means only this term is different, and here it is 5 by 2. But our representation is same, as well as in Busikness theory and also as well as the Westergaard's theory. That's why here we have seen a relationship between sigma and z. Even here, if they ask you to, if even suppose let us say in this problem, if they ask you find the Busikness theory, what about the stress equation? Q divided by z square, that will be equal to into 3 divided by 2 pi. Let me rewrite it. Q divided by z square into 3 divided by 2 pi into 1 divided by 1 plus r by z whole square whole to the power 5 by 2. R is equal to 0. This term goes to 1. What about this term? Constant. And Q is also constant. So again your sigma z is also inversely proportional to the z square. In this problem, either you may find it by using Westergaard's or you may find it by using Boussinesq theory. You will get the same results. Understand? Why? Because in both the cases, your sigma z is inversely proportional to the z square. Okay. Thank you.